to Channel S Cosmos from my Viewpoint program. I, Sharanu Rupkotha, will be with you throughout the entire program. You all know that we delve into different themes of all that exist. Today we will converse about the Mesopotamian civilization and also about one of the 7 wonders of the world, the Hanging Garden of Babylon. We have 2 friends here with us today in the studio. I will make the introductions to you beforehand. On my left side, we have Arisha, and on my right side, we have Ohi. Arisha, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good. Ohi, how are you?
Great. The topic is great, and I'm quite excited about the topic because it's about an ancient civilization. It's
Right.
quite interesting, and I find this kind of topics really interesting. I read them in my libraries. My school has a library. So yes, I'm really excited. Please continue.
We also have a friend who's joining us all the way from Canada online. I will make the introductions. Hello, Faiza.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So let's dive into the main topic. The Mesopotamian civilizations, one of the ancient and the oldest civilization. It's known as the cradle of civilization because it's like they have contributed a lot in the field of agriculture, medicine, and also the constructions. So,
right.
Do you know anything about the Mesopotamian civilization?
I heard that Mesopotamian civilization was really powerful in cases of wars and everything, and they were really civilized. They had really unique type, they had their buildings and structures, their sanitary system.
Right.
Those were really upgraded for
Right.
that time, and these were like the can we identify them as technology?
Okay.
Yeah, so they were technologically very advanced, and this is a part, if it didn't fallen down, I think it could have been, really progressed really far.
Right.
Yeah.
And also know about, like, do you have any idea about what the word Mesopotamia means?
As far I know, it means the place between 2 rivers.
Right, the place between rivers, the valley between 2 rivers.
Right.
It's situated in the present-day Iraq and Syria.
The rivers were Tigris and
Euphrates.
Right.
So, Faiza, do you know anything about Mesopotamian civilization?
Well, similar to that, I know that it is between rivers, and they included like the southern eastern area of Asia, and they were it was in the past, and now it doesn't really exist anymore.
Okay, so the Mesopotamian civilization is consists the Akkadians, the Assyrians, the Babylonians, and the Sumerians. The Sumerians are the first they were in the first state of when Mesopotamian civilization was created. So they are credited with most of the inventions, like they created the plow. They were the first to they were very advanced in medicine and the medical field. Do you know anything about the Sumerians?
Well, yeah, these are the things, and yeah, this amuses me. They were so smart and so advanced. But yeah, I don't think there is much information related to that. You were talking about other places and other places.
Right.
Which were those?
The Sumerians, the Akkadians, and the Assyrians.
So those are like afterwards, right?
Right. They
Can
came
you
after
explain?
that. The Sumerians were the first ones.
Okay, and then?
And then I think actually I don't know specifically about that, but I found that the Sumerians were the first ones. So Arisha, do you know anything about the Mesopotamian civilization?
No, I don't know anything about the Mesopotamian civilization.
Do you know it's one of the most ancient and the oldest civilization in the world history?
Yes.
Okay. We know that what happened that led the civilization to destruction in the fall town.
Well, I've heard that they engaged in many wars, and in 514 BC, they engaged in war with Persians. And yeah, that was the time when historics think that the Hanging Garden of Babylon was destroyed in that war, and it was so destructive that such a big, so big construction, the Hanging Garden of Babylon, it was destroyed at that time. So yes, these are the things, these are the wars. They engaged in many wars, and thus the empire fallen.
Right, and the Sumerians are also the first one who invented the process of writing. It's known as
Wow.
cuneiform. It's around 3500 BCE.
Wow.
So that's really early. Like they were very much civilized. So Arisha, do you know anything about Sumerians? Like, do you know that they built the world's first cities?
I don't know about that.
And they built the world's first cities, and those were Ur, Uruk, and Eridu.
No, I don't know about that.
And they were very much civilized, and they invented the process of writing. They invented the cuneiform. They invented the lunar calendars, the Babylonians and the Sumerians.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Faiza, now we will talk about Hanging Garden of Babylon. You have, I'm sure you've heard about that. So,
Yeah,
do you know anything about it?
I know that it was a garden that the king of Babylon gifted to his wife because she missed her home,
Okay.
and that's pretty cool.
When I heard about the Babylon first, I didn't see its picture. I just thought it's maybe on the clouds or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
even for me, that was the first imagination.
yeah,
in
my
mind.
imagination was really very far from what it was really. I thought it was on a castle on the clouds, something like
Yes.
that. But when I later saw that picture, I was really a little bit disappointed and hurt that it doesn't meet up to my expectations.
Right.
Do you know anything about the Hanging Garden of Babylon?
Well, there is a lot to talk about it, but the most interesting part is this is the one and only wonder of the 7 wonders which doesn't have any existential proof. You know
Right.
that, right?
Right.
Like even the writers who wrote about the Hanging Garden of Babylon, which are the only proof of their existence,
Right.
only 5 writers wrote about it, and they wrote about it after 1 century.
Oh.
1 century is like a human lifespan. They wrote about it after it was destroyed, and 100 years was
So maybe
past.
they have heard about the Hanging Garden of Babylon from their ancestors or something like that.
Obviously it could be, but
Their ancestors
that's doubtful, right?
their ancestors told them we have seen the Hanging Garden of
but
Babylon.
the theory of the Hanging Garden of Babylon is really interesting. It's as far as the poets and the writers have told, they have described that it is a four-stored building, not a building type, a palace type, and it was located. Some of the historians say it was located beside Tigris river, and some of them say it was located beside Euphrates river.
You've heard.
But we don't know, obviously. That's the thing, that the river is the main part why they
The irrigation system.
the irrigation system, the water system,
The water
for the
system.
garden. And it was 4th floor, and every floor had its own garden type. It was 1 floor, 2 floor, 3 floor, and 4 floor, and every floor had its own fertile soil, and people say it had all of the trees in the world at that time.
all
he
the
planted
trees,
all the
kind of
trees,
species.
all the trees for his wife. So yeah,
It's
the
re-
concept is really interesting.
Right.
But it is too good to be true, right?
Right, it's too good to be true. And I think there are some things close up to that, but not that much what people say.
Yeah.
So
I really think it
right.
shouldn't exist, right?
Right. So, Arisha, do you know women in Babylonia, they had more rights compared to any other ancient civilizations. They were engaged with business and also other kind of works, which is really interesting.
Yes, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon were one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world listed by Hellenic culture. It was said to have been built in the ancient city of Babylon near present-day Hilla Babil province in Iraq.
Okay, Faiza. So we'll be asking you like, do you know anything more about it?
I wouldn't say I do because
Do you think do you think it is just a made up story of humans or it was real?
I personally, I would like to think that it was real, that maybe somewhere in the world there's some place that exists like that, we just haven't found it. And it's the legend of it. It's really like heartwarming, and I really like how the king gifted his wife such a beautiful garden, and I hope someday maybe we'll find it.
Yeah, right. It's like a tough thing, and people are still researching on it. And do you know anything about the Assyrians? We have talked about the Sumerians. Do you know
Right.
anything about the Assyrians?
Actually, no, I didn't read about the Assyrians. Can you tell me about them?
Well, the Assyrians were the maybe next to the Sumerians.
Okay.
They invented the education system like that. Children will go to school, learn about different things.
That was like 3,000 years ago.
Right.
And they invented the education system. That's really fascinating.
Yeah, and I've also though maybe they are credited, but I have also found that like the Babylonians and the other ones, they also like invented the education system. It's really fascinating that they valued education that time,
Right.
and it's really fascinating. And the Babylonians, the Akkadians, maybe they invented the numerical based maths.
Yeah, I have heard they were really good at astronomy. And yeah, we know that people back then, they used to take astronomy really seriously. And they used to believe that the stars, moon, and the sun, they affect our lives directly or indirectly. So yeah, they were really good at astronomy. They were good at maths.
Right.
And they were the first who made the connection between math and astronomy, and thus they have discovered so many things.
We know these are tough things, but we'll still go with it. We are just knowing it in a very short way.
Yeah.
We can maybe research on that in a detailed way later. And you said about the Hanging Garden of Babylon, like the king made it for his wife.
Yeah.
So do you know about do you know what was the king's name?
The king was Aisha, do you know the king's name?
Yes,
Who was he?
Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar II.
Yes,
Nebuchadnezzar was his
II.
father. He's the second one.
Yes.
And do you know his wife's name?
Yes.
Who was she?
Queen Amytis.
Amytis. Yeah, right. She was a Madian. And if you don't know about Madia was back then a place full of garden, trees, hills, and
Yes.
everything. So when he married his husband and came to Babylon, she used to miss the gardens, the flowers, the trees a lot. And
Yes.
and her husband took that really seriously. Her husband felt bad about that. Thus, he made the Garden of Babylon, the Hanging Garden of Babylon.
So there's an interesting story behind it. And the Mesopotamian, the people of Mesopotamia, civilization back at that time, they introduced the government system. They were very advanced in the warfare, so they're really very advanced, we can say.
Well, I have heard about the kingdom system.
Right.
One ruler rules on the people.
They invented pathways like for the communication system.
Right. So yeah, they were really advanced, and Mesopotamia, it's like the first civilization of the human mankind.
Right.
Like if they were not there, maybe we couldn't have like progressed so much in 2024.
Along with our friends, we have a special guest with us for the Greener World part. Our special guest is Shariful Islam Hassan, Associate Director, Migration Program and Youth Platform, BRAC. Welcome to our program, sir.
Thank you.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine, especially fine when I see kids and youth like you.
Thank you, sir. So, our today's topic for the Greener World is Lost Childhood Addressing Child Servitude. Now we will see a video about that.
পড়াশোনা করতেছি, তার পাশাপাশি আমি 2 বছর ধরে কাজও করতেছি। কাজ করে যে টাকাটা পাই তা আমার আম্মুর হাতে দেই। আমার সংসারটা খুব ভালোভাবে চলতেছে। আর কাজ করতে আমার মোটামুটি ভালোই লাগতেছে। মাঝে মাঝে ভারী কিছু হইলে তখন খারাপ লাগে, তাও আমি ভালো মনে করে নিয়ে যাই। আর আমার ইচ্ছাটা হলো বড় হয়ে যেন ভালো কিছু হতে পারি, ইঞ্জিনিয়ার বা ভালো কিছু হতে পারি।
আমি 5 বছর ধরে গ্যারেজে কাজ করি, অটোমোবাইল ইঞ্জিনিয়ারের জন্য আসছি। আমার স্বপ্ন যে বড় হয়ে একজন বড় ইঞ্জিনিয়ার বা একটা বড় একটা গাড়ি বানাবো।
So we have seen the video. Sir, please share your opinion about this.
It's really sad to see such videos that where children is working, but that's the reality. Every day we have to see this Bangladesh. According to our statistics, there are more than 3 million children like this. I think many of us are very much lucky that we're going to schools or your family. But in Bangladesh, there are a huge number of children who goes for this child labor. I think all of you understand child labor means that somebody who is below 18, a children, is working. But why? From our observations, we have said 3 major reasons. One is that poverty. Probably the family or the father or mother doesn't have enough money so that they can earn and feed all of the members. That is one. And there is sometimes fathers died. So when the father is died, probably the mothers or the children is doing something. And another reasons we see that disaster, especially in Khulna, Shatkhira, Borishal, sometimes in floods, sometimes in cyclone, so they lost everything. And then they come to the cities and live in a slum. So for these various reasons, ultimately their goal is that if they can earn, so that probably the other family members can run with this money. That's why. The one good thing is that if you see that though they are children, but still they haven't lose their hope. They still think that they will do something in future. But many of the children who are working, that's a very risky profession. Some suppose in dockyard, in shipyard, or then driving. So child labor, some occupation is really dangerous, and some are okay, fine. I think if you go to university, colleges, you will see that some children are working, the restaurants and other. But the profession, something is really dangerous. It's really dangerous for their health, for their future. So I think Bangladesh government has decided that we will work within 2015. That means we have one more year, so that Bangladesh will be a country where there will be no child labor. But the reality is that we cannot achieve more. Still, there are many professions or many children, more than 3 million I shared, are still working in the child labor. So many of them are working in different parts of Bangladesh, especially in the cities. So I think it's all our responsibility that how we really can help them. Because whenever you see that probably you're going to school in Dhaka city, probably you see that somebody who is doing some jobs, probably selling something or driving. So I think we really take care of them, because though they have lost their childhood for their poverty, but we have to take care of them. We really need to show them empathy so that we can love them. And I think government is working, many non-government organization, ILO, we are really working that how we really can make a country without this child labor, eradicate this. But I think it's a responsibility, it's a shared responsibility. All we need to work on this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now we will go to our guest. So Faiza, what do you think about this? The child servitude.
So this is like a very major issue around the world, and it's really difficult to see that children like all of us are being they have to work because of poverty and social inequality, and no parent wants to send their child off to work. They want their child to live their life and go have education and everything. So it's very sad to see that people children are losing their childhood and working in conditions that doesn't guarantee their safety, and it could harm them later on in life. So not only will they lose their childhood, but they're also risking the rest of their life doing so.
Okay, thank you. Okay, what do you think about it, the child servitude?
Well, first of all, it's really obvious. It's really sad to see children working. And it's not like they're doing part-time jobs. They're forced to do this, forced for poverty, family issues. And in a country like Bangladesh, where every year 3 to 5 lakh students are graduating from school, there are almost 3 million children who don't go to school and work as child labor. So yeah, this is really sad to see. And from their point of view, if we think from their point of view, they are watching other children, other kids of their age living a happy life with their family, going to school, hanging out with friends, and they are working so hard, forcefully they are working to earn money. And the main issue is they don't earn much money, right? People hire them because they are cheap as labor, right? So yeah, and most of the work they do, this is really harmful, harms them mentally and physically. And we don't know, we are thinking about them before 18. After 18, their lives are not insured, right? After 18, what will they do? They are not educated. So yeah, this is a really important issue that people overlook. So yeah, if we are having a vision of smart Bangladesh, we really should focus on this, and this is a large number of people. So yeah, this should be looked by the government and people of Bangladesh.
Thank you. So Arisha, you have seen a video on child labor. Children around our age, they are not going to school like us.
Yes.
They are not privileged like us.
Yes.
And they're working, they're earning money because they have financial problems. Their parents can't afford them to send them to school.
Yes.
What do you think about this? Do you feel bad for them?
Yes, I feel bad for them, and we should help them. They all have a wish, and they all do hard, and they all work money for their wish.
Thank you. Sir, please share your opinion about this.
No, I think that what this 3 students is saying, that we really need to help them. I think that's the real world. We really need to help them, especially the young. Whenever you see somebody is working in front of you, or domestic workers, sometimes you'll see that 10 years boys or girls are going to school, and somebody is carrying to him or her, she or he is probably 11 years or 10 years. So that's just two opposite pictures. Somebody is going to school with happy faces, and somebody starting their days with some buses or trucks as helpers, or dockyard, or domestic workers, so they have just lost their childhood. I think that's why we all should work together, that how you can really make their life happy. So whenever we see them, we really need to behave very well to them, and I think so all we really need to help them, that how we can really solve this problem in a bigger way. Whenever you will be grown, will be in position, or even from today, if you can really think for them, if you really can do something for them. And also Bangladesh government has taken a policy so that you can eradicate child labor. So let's see that, but it's not possible for anyone or any governments without helping other. It is all we really need to help them. So I think it's not money is not the problem. Sometimes the willingness, those people who have money, if they really think that they will do some things or run school for them, I think then we really can make something good for them. I think this is also our responsibility. So I believe that this video will also not make us sad. It also help us to make promises that we really work to resolve this problem.
Thank you, sir. So Faiza, we have seen that the boys, their dream is to become an engineer, but they can't go to school, they can't afford that. What do you think about it?
It's really like difficult to see, because like they also have dreams and people just like disregard them. They just don't see them, or their dreams of value, they just like, okay, we just need another worker, so you're gonna have to do. But I think they should look past needing another worker and look that you're looking at a child, and that child has the right to receive that education, to have that childhood, and to live their life without worry for when their next meal is going to come, when they're going to get paid, and if their work is going to keep them well fed and well clothed.
Thank you. Sir, thank you for joining us and sharing your opinion. And Faiza, thank you for joining us and sharing your time with us. We really feel grateful. And also, Ohi and Arisha, thank you for joining us. We
You're
had an
most
incredible
welcome.
time together, and we learned about the Mesopotamian civilization.
Yes.
So friends, the sense of time is running out. We have to end it here. We will be back again with another topic that promises to be more compelling. Till then, stay blessed. Goodbye.